Hey y'all, and welcome to Watch Cheryl Scrap for the first session for Digital Scrapbooking Day 2021. Today is Friday, October the 1st, and I'm going to be scrapping this fabulous photo of my great niece, and she was dressed up last year as we have discovered Uma, U-M-A, who is the daughter of Ursula in Disney's Descendants series. So, and I'm going to start out with this collection by Elif Sahin, and it's called Witch Please, but I have a lot of other BYOC stuff, so I don't know. We'll see what I stick with or don't stick with.
We'll just see.
We'll just see. So I'm going to start by resizing the photo a little bit because I want it big, but maybe not that big. Let's see. Get my little photo shadow on. I gotta collapse this.
Speaking of shadows, I have one tonight.
You do?
Yeah, the child's sitting here watching you scrap. He's very interested now that he knows it's a Descendants photo you're scrapping.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so I like this particular paper right here. Yes.
Ooh.
And, let's see. It is a little crazy on the eyes. Did it seem crazy to you?
It did, but sometimes that can just be the computer screen.
Yeah.
So I don't always, like, especially since I'm looking at a computer screen kind of through a computer screen, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh, Renee's been air frying hamburgers.
Okay, let's do. Yeah, I'm not liking that paper very much. It's not what
I like that paper. I don't know that I like it with the picture.
I don't think I like it with the picture. Let's see what that looks like. Yes.
Have you been shopping, Cheryl?
Oh, yeah. I got a bunch. Oh, yeah. I got a bunch of BYOC stuff. Okay, I'm liking that.
Livy loves the floral too.
Okay, but I'm feeling like.
Are you going to layer a solid in between to break them up?
I'm going to go over and see if I can get any other.
It's only a sort of silly question, Jennifer. You might be waiting until all the special Saturday stuff is out so you can make sure you hit the free with purchase. I don't know.
Okay, this is from Pink Reptile's Spooky Kit.
Spooky.
Spooky, spooky. I like it. I like that. Yes.
The palette for the BYOC this time. Like it's
very
not
nice.
Yeah, it's like it's Halloween, but it's not black and white Halloween. It's got some fun to it.
Okay, I think I'm going to throw in this brighter green.
The special Saturday stuff is out, but that doesn't mean you've had a chance to shop for it yet. You know, sometimes it takes a moment to look it over, fill your cart, debate on how badly you want everything, go in, debate on it, take something out, put 5 more in. Oh, wait, maybe that's just me.
Nope, not just you.
Oh, good.
Okay, I think like a half circle might be cool. I don't know. Let's see. Let's just do a circle and see where we
go. Ooh. I like the way your shapes are arranged.
Yeah?
You have like additional shapes that I don't have?
Yes. Yeah, I have a lot of different shapes.
I need more shapes. That's what that just told me.
Yeah, but you can organize it like you want to. So I've done that. for different shapes that I have, shape packs.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely need more shapes now that I see all your shapes. I'm like, ooh, I don't have to draw them myself. I don't have to figure them out each time.
Right.
I need that. I definitely need that. Hi, Melinda.
Okay, while we're talking about that, because Olivia is the one that told me about this, and I've been using it, and I think I shared it before, but this is in Photoshop Creative Cloud. Have you been using the libraries?
I've used them, but I don't always use them.
Well, I'll flip over here. It's going to take a second for it to populate because it's cloud-based, but you can see it over on the right-hand side. So I have like all the pieces that I usually use on my templates.
Mm-hmm.
So like stars or stuff that I've drawn or whatever. I don't want to have to redraw. But I also have, like when I do Calvin Ball in March, I have, you know, if there's stars or whatever you need for the challenge. Then I have some basic scrapbooking things like craft paper, lighting overlays.
Yeah, I think I started to set that out with like a basic epoxy dot and a basic like staple and stuff, like those things that I always want. And it's like, oh, not every kit has them. Like there's a couple paint splatters that I really love, so I don't have to go find them every time. But then I forgot that I was using that, and now I just don't.
Anyway, that's a very nice thing to have. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rasterize this because I don't think I'm really going to be putting a lot more on it, but we'll see.
Jennifer says the same thing. She needs to find some shapes too. It took forever to find a tag she liked, and she ended up pulling one from a template, then used pattern paper. I have been guilty of doing that before, pulling a shape from a template. I'll be like, oh, Cheryl does that shape all the time. Let me go find it.
Yes, scrap smarter, like not harder. Right?
But if I just had the shapes, then I could just drop the shape in, kind of like I do with a brush, you know? Yes.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so that's from Spooky. And if, just for the benefit of anybody who hasn't been here before, I go to File Info, and type in my credits.
And not that it's easy to get to, but the links are so far in the chat.
Lord, I cannot type. Traveling typewriter. Okay, and then I'm going to go back out to, because I want to use more of the which, please. Which, please.
It's cute.
Okay. Oh man, her florals are so pretty.
I like that you're like, ooh, wait, I'm caught up in this. Oop, I'm caught up in this part.
Oop. Okay, I'm hitting it hard now. I'm gonna start writing. It's already 8:14 and I'm not very far along here.
Yeah, you're pretty far. Jennifer says teaching her the file info, that's been amazing for CT stuff. Especially when you scrap early and then you don't release till later and you're like, crap, what did I use in that one?
Right. Yes, and then like if you have to go back and say you want to make a accompanying page, then you can just pull up your PSD and then there you go.
See, or you can, you know, just open it on the, so in Windows, it'll tell me what I used on it. Like it puts it into the file and it writes it in there. So I can just hover over the JPEG if I saved it as a JPEG and it'll tell me, and then I can just go, okay, and I don't even have to open the PSD. Not a problem on this computer, but when I was working on a laptop, it took forever sometimes to open a PSD if it had a whole lot of layers.
Right.
So it was much easier to just pull up the file info. This
Ooh, I
not so
like
much.
that. I like the purple.
How long did it take to set up your libraries? Jen says it seems daunting.
No, but we can talk about that when I'm done with this, and we can actually set up a pretend one.
A little library?
Yeah.
We have those little libraries. Do you have them down in Florida? Where like people put up little libraries on, yeah. It just, that's every time I think of little library, I think of those.
Ready for candy.
Ooh, Libby stopped at one. We stop at one all the time. There's one on our neighbor has one around the corner.
At? Today? Oh. Y'all didn't tell me that. My husband and my daughter went to one without me.
Uh-oh. They're in trouble.
Y'all are in trouble.
Jen says they have bunches of the little libraries too.
I think it's just fabulous.
Ooh, that's awesome. Renee learned with her PSP that if she drags it into the layers palette, it'll show the file name. That is awesome. I used to have to figure that out with Photoshop Elements. One way would show the file name and one way would just rename everything layer. But it's nice when it keeps the names of those layers for you.
Yes, that's how I can, like if I really didn't want to go one by one, I could just do it here by looking at the file name. Like,
Bethany says she may have enough books for a whole town of little libraries.
Yeah, I can pull it out so I can see the description of the layer more, but if I'm just scrapping, I don't know why I like to have a lot of real estate.
You know, I do too, and I'd never thought of it that way. You're right. Like, what does all the blank space around it do?
Right? I'm like, but I like having that blank space.
I know, but is it really actually doing anything, or would you be better off with having the extra space for your... Yeah. I don't know that I need to see the file names, though, you know?
But, like, I may want to pull this out some more. But no, I like to have it over. Isn't it funny, the little things that we like?
Livy says you need room for the eye to breathe. And so does Bethany. It gives your eyes a place to rest.
Lord. Let's see.
That's true, it does.
County. So cute, it's scary. Oh, yes. Okay.
Does the library thing work in PSE? I do not think so.
No. Sorry.
It's set up to work across, like if you're using Adobe Illustrator and stuff like that too. So I don't think it actually works with PSE. Pretty sure it does not, but it might.
I don't believe it's available, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I have been wrong before.
I have too. Many times. I made caramel today, so I can have caramel and I can have apples tomorrow.
And I, upon your advice, bought the gummy bears that we were talking about in the forum.
Olivia just asked how I'm still functioning since I had a 7:30 chat.
She's like, no, not very good.
You know what's worse is I woke up an hour earlier than I needed to get my kid out the door. So I've actually been going since 6:15 my time, and it's now 9:20. I'm gonna crash, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was doing
Ooh,
the
chocolate
9,000 social media posts. Not a fan. Not a fan. All right, I'm gonna go back out to Spooky. See what I can pull in from there. Because I need some more flowers, let's be honest. More flowers.
I do not see Photoshop Elements listed as an option for the Creative Crowd library. But it does not have anything to do with the file info. So that should be working.
Yeah, the file info is separate issue.
Yeah. Renee's eating Brock's Autumn Mix tonight.
What's in that?
Is that the one with the pumpkins and the candy corn? I was going to say corn syrup and sugar. That's what it is.
Corn syrup and sugar.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
yes, I'm a fan of that myself. I'm like, I need some empty calories for the win.
Totally. So making caramel, I use corn syrup and I use sweetened condensed milk and sugar and butter. So if you ever wonder why caramel is so sweet, it's because it's just all sugar.
Yeah.
And Matthew was like, well, what's that liquid stuff? Because he thought it was like a weird honey. So I let him try a little bit and he's like, oh. And he's like, what's that? So I let him try a little bit of the sweetened condensed milk and he's like, can I just eat a can of this?
You're like, oh my God.
No. But when you wonder why the caramel's so sweet, you'll know.
Yeah. He'll be like running around like a mad thing.
I took him on an hour walk. Or 30-minute walk.
Like,
and sent him out to jump on the trampoline.
Let's go. It's time.
Pumpkins, candy corn, and the Indian corn. That's right. And that's the one that's got the brown on top instead of the yellow, right? My daughter used to pour sweetened condensed milk on her rice for a snack. That's almost like a rice pudding.
Spooky. Oh, why is this doing that? I like it, but it's so dark. It needs something behind it. I'm gonna have to get some paint.
Megan, I would recommend posting in the forum because we have some really good Photoshop Elements users and they might be able to figure out. It might just be that you have to reset your metadata and then it'll work, but a lot of them could tell you.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes it's something that they've dealt with before and sometimes it's not. But at a quick glance, I do see that installing Visual C++ might solve that problem because other people posted on Adobe support that they were having that issue. It was with a different Photoshop Elements, but that might, I'll post the link and you can look at it. But yeah, a lot of times if you post, especially with the Photoshop, people can help. It's at your own will. It's at your own, what do you call it? It could break something, but a lot of times we can say, hey, usually if you do this, it'll work. Oh, snacks from Trader Joe's. My Trader Joe's is an hour away and I didn't feel like driving there today. That would be yummy though. Maybe next time. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll convince my husband to go up in December and we'll go get snacks for MOC. I'll have to hide them all. I have lots of dummies for this one. Oh man, never been to a Trader Joe's. You know, some people love it and some people hate it, but I love them. I find that they have really good chocolate, especially.
chocolate.
And Olivia is excited for her first MOC.
Yeah,
there's no.
she's been.
Go ahead.
I think she went off to university as I was coming to TLP. Is that right?
No, I thought it was her senior year, but maybe not. It was like 2016 or 17, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, gracious.
I know.
Sorry, I just had that moment where I was like, whoa.
How has that been so long? Because there's like part of it that does not feel that it was that long ago.
No.
Right?
Maybe it was later. When was it?
I think I started coming over in December of 2015, but my actual launch was January of 2016.
Yeah, it was January of 2016. Yeah, I just double checked because I have an email about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
All right, let's see.
You went to Vegas in 15.
Yeah.
2014. Yeah, nope, 2014. I knew she wasn't there because well, you might have gone to Vegas. 2015 was when you came to Utah. Because that's when we met.
Yeah, she graduated high school in 15.
So, yep. Yep, it doesn't seem like she graduated that long ago, but okay.
Right?
She went to some trip my first semester of college.
Oh my goodness.
I think, yeah, because it was still SO when we did Utah.
Yep.
Yeah, and Renee says, yeah, it was right after her puppies died, Pepper and Paige, 2015. So Lisa says when she was in southern Mississippi, there was no Trader Joe's, so she stocked up when she went to Atlanta. Melinda says it's a 45 to 50-minute drive for TJ's. Renee just lives an hour from everything. Oh.
Okay, I'm going to add in, I think, some stitching. We'll see.
Poor Jagruti is stuck in Canada where there's no Trader Joe's.
Aww.
But you know what? To be fair, you have really good chocolate anyway, so I don't feel so bad for you. Do you have no frills, Jagruti? No Target either. Yeah, I know. My brother was bummed about that one. But no frills. So they have this grocery store called No Frills, and we make fun of it because it's supposed to be like if you have an Aldi, it's kind of like that, where it's like very stripped down, not a lot of extras or anything. But a lot of them are independently owned, and so by my brother, there's 3 of them, and he calls one the No Frills, one the Little Frilly, and one the Frilly No Frills. Because one is like nothing, nada, everything is basic, you're not getting anything. And then there's the Little Frilly that will have like extra stuff that you need that you're like, oh good, I don't have to go to another store. And then there's the Frilly one that has like all sorts of stuff. And you're just like, I thought this was supposed to be a no frills, and it's more similar to like a regular grocery store.
Right. You're like, what?
But ooh, Jen lives in Target Central, but she's getting a Trader Joe's. That's fun. Renee says Walmart is 5 minutes. Well, see, Renee, my Walmart is like 10, and the other one is 12 to 15, depending on the traffic. Yeah, Jagruti says she has a few near her, and they'll shop based on specific products. It's so true, but it's just funny because you expect it to be really similar, but they're not similar. I mean, they are, but they aren't, so it's kind of fun. You know, if you go into a Kroger or a Smith's or whichever brand Kroger has in your area, it's going to be pretty much the same. So, I hate when they move stores around. You can really never find anything. Renee said they just finished moving things around at Walmart and she can't find anything. I did that. I went into, what store was it? I don't even remember now, but I went in and I was like, I was here last week and they have moved everything and nothing's where it was last week. Where is it?
Bring it back.
Put it back where it was. Now. I had this down to a science and you messed it all up.
Okay.
Your giant eagle does that constantly. Ugh.
Okay.
We don't have a giant eagle.
That there.
I think there's some north of me. I just haven't gone there.
All
They
right.
keep doing that at Target. You know, to worry when the containers get parked in front of the store. So I can't even think of which store it was that did it, but you didn't even know because the containers, they must have been on the back side where there's a field. So you didn't even know that they were going to do it. And then all of a sudden it was like, wait, where did everything go?
Where is it all?
Renee says her Walmart now looks like the new Walmart 20 minutes away.
Okay.
Renee
right,
and
I'm
I live in
finished with my
Walmart country.
I am finished here.
You
And
finished?
so were we going to talk about file info again, or were we just going straight into libraries?
You can do libraries. Can I tell you something really cool though? The way that paper is, I don't know if you did something and I wasn't paying attention, but the tree paper, it has like almost a vellum look, almost like there's a piece of vellum over top of it. That is so cool.
It's actually darker at the bottom, and then it's like more worn towards the top. You can see down here in the corner. Yeah.
That is so cool because the way that you've like layered everything on top, it gives it this total, it's like a total almost a vellum-y feel. It's cool.
Very cool.
All right, teach us libraries.
All right, I'm gonna close that out. And we're gonna create a new one. And let's just call it the basics. Okay, so as you can see here on the screen, it says you can access your creative elements in every Adobe app. So that's pretty cool, except Elements is not in that party. I don't believe, but somebody else can Google and
yeah, when I Googled, it wasn't showing up as being part of Elements.
Okay. Alrighty. I'll just put a background here for just a second. Okay, so like what kind of things like would Jennifer normally reach for, or whoever has PSCC, whoever is going to be using libraries, tell me what you would like to see me add.
A staple.
A staple. Let me see if I can find a staple
to attach things. And I hate having to remember who has the good staples.
I don't remember who has them either.
Celine, not Celine, Krista. No, it is Celine. Right? Celine. PM, Project Mouse. Yeah, Krista.
Okay. All right. Here's one from Micheline. This is just a staple. So I can drag directly into it from Windows Explorer or wherever you want to drag from once you found your item. And or if you have it on a canvas, like you've been scrapping a page and you want to add it, you can drag it from your layers palette over here. So I'm going to delete it so you can see that it will drag over there. All right.
Jan says sequins and glitter if you'd like something else to add to show.
Let's see, here's a couple of sequins we'll add.
Oh, that's a good question. Can you have a library of frames with shadows?
Yeah.
Will it save it if you had a shadow on it? So if you shadowed a staple perfectly, then you would always have the perfectly shadowed staple?
Yes. So I'll add the frame. So say I'm going to use this frame and I go ahead and make my custom shadow for it. I don't know why this has been doing it lately, but every time I hit that corner.
It's a bug and Adobe knows it and Adobe is going to finally fix it.
Oh my God, it's driving me nuts.
Yes, it's driving me nuts too. And I finally went and posted on their forum because I found where somebody was complaining about it. And I said, no, this is happening to me too. Because they were trying to like make it small. And all of a sudden, all of us went and said, no, it is happening to me. It is happening to me. So they have officially put it in their bugs to try to look into why it's happening. And I said, it's been happening more. For me, it's actually been the last 2 updates that it's happened. But yes. Oh, Jen says the same thing. I thought it was me. Yeah, no, it is an Adobe bug and they are going to fix it. And it's typically with Windows. All of us having the issue with Windows.
Lord have mercy. That's good to know. All right. So I'm going to now drag this over to the little frame here. So you'll see it's hard to see it, but it's there. If I drag it back into the canvas, there's a separate one and it's got the shadow already attached to it.
That's super cool.
Okay, now when I drag, drug, pulled, snagged, I did something. I'm dragging it over. That way you'll see in the layers palette, there's a little cloud icon down at the bottom right. And that lets you know it's part of, it's an item in your cloud. So sometimes that's an issue. Like if I pulled in something to be on one of my templates and it had that cloud on there, it causes some errors for templates. So just kind of be careful with that. But you can pull it in, use the Alt, or I guess that would be, what's the command? Thank you. Alt or Command, and hold that down while you're pulling, and it pulls in not only the frame but the shadow, and there is no cloud icon, so it's not attached. So here we can see we've got the frame, we've got the sequins, we've got staples. So you can create a group. So I'm going to say fasteners. So I can drag the staple up there, and then if I wanted another one to be tags, then you can drag that there.
So you're just organizing them right now?
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't like, okay, there we go. And the panel works the same way as your other panels. If you need to move something around, you're going to see that, blue line when you're moving. So you can see it pop up. I'm pointing at it with my finger, like you can see me pointing at it.
I can see you totally. Can't you guys see her
very
pointing?
helpful. Very helpful. So let's call that new group scatters, and we'll put the sequence in there. But let's see. All right. All right, and then we'll make another one for frames. No,
I agree. So many tips.
Okay.
So now, Cheryl, you're either going to have to split this section out of the Watch Cheryl scrap part, or just make a big note that this is where you talked about libraries.
Yes.
So when I go, where was that video that had the library stuff? I know it was during this time.
I should separate it out and post it as a separate video on my FDD channel.
That would be so awesome. Jen agrees with me.
You know, libraries. I mean, obviously this isn't an exhaustive tutorial. It's just kind of.
But it's enough that I could sit down and go, how did I do? Oh yeah, that's right. You know what I mean? So.
Okay, so then we'll call that one frames. And then we'll pull that up here to be alphabetical because that's how my brain works. And then now you see for you have fasteners, frames, scatters, tags. And I mean, you can keep going as, much as you want to, because there's some beads and there's some confetti, and
it keeps the names so you know where you got it from.
Correct.
Sweet. So much easier than some random folder in your computer. I agree, especially since I usually forget about the random folder that's on my computer.
Right. Okay. Any other questions? Like if you had a particular solid color paper you liked, or if you needed to have a text paper. This works great for challenges if you have certain things that you need to add. So you could have a new group, and we're going to call this papers, but then we're going to add a subgroup, and we're going to call that text papers, and then drag that there. So then you could have, if it was something that you reach for frequently, you find yourself like using it all the time, and might be something you want to look at.
Like I could see keeping just like maybe, so sometimes I'll like certain solids from certain designers better. Like, but maybe it's like I like a pink reptile red, but I like the pink from Bella Gypsy or something.
Yeah.
It'd be really easy to create your own little solid section of your basics that you really like. That'd be cool.
And then I'm going to talk to y'all about this. Is Jan Merkley here?
She was. Is she still? She's still here.
Okay. I believe that she asked me because sometimes she is scrapping without a template, but she wants pieces of a template that she can quickly grab and add onto her page, but I can't remember if she has Elements or if she has Creative Cloud. Which one do you have?
While I wait for her to answer, Jen Little wants to know if you delete that group, will the items remain out there ungrouped, or will they delete from your library?
They will delete from the library. They still remain on your hard drive. They just...
So you need to pull them out of the library or out of the group before you deleted the group.
Right. Right. So if
Photoshop
I said
2020. So CC, right? Not Elements.
Not Elements. Because this may not help her. But
yeah, she says not Elements. So yeah, CC.
Okay. So I'm just gonna pull in my BYOC templates, for instance, and I'll show you a couple of things here. Okay, so say you wanted to have a particular kind of photo with a shadow on it. I'm gonna go ahead and create a new group, and I'm gonna just call it template pieces, for lack of a better. And I'm gonna select all three of those layers and drag it over here. And there it is. So you have we'll add a subgroup just for photos, photo spots. And then that way, if you wanted to add it back onto this other page that you're working on, you could just press the Alt or Command and then drag it over, and it pulls it in, and all the pieces are there together.
So it's set up and you don't have to go find that template and bring it in.
No. So like, okay, so your
Jen says she's totally creating a library for that because she ends up looking around for different shape or size of your photos from your other templates to bring in.
Yeah.
That would be brilliant because then you could have some of the bigger ones, because I'm always adjusting photos on your templates. I'm sorry.
And you should, because it's just going to give you an idea, the basic bones of your layout composition. So for instance, on this particular template, you may be like, I only have one large portrait photo. I'm going to keep that big one. And those 3 square ones, I'm going to replace that with a landscape photo. So in that case, hang on just a second.
Jen said the same thing. I always need bigger ones or landscape shaped.
Okay, so I'm going to drag in this. This is template 2. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this little one down here. I'm going to grab all 3 layers and I'm going to drag it over here. And then I am, you know, say I'm playing around with this particular composition and I want that. I'll just Alt or Command drag, and then I can put it there, can move this up or over wherever it needs to be, and then I can delete all these happy little
See, but one of those would be perfect to add to your library, so you have that little one, because sometimes that's all you want is just a little photo instead of, you know, 17 flowers.
Yeah.
But now
you'll have to see here that you know, because this was on a different template, that you're going to have to alter your shadows. So like right here, I would probably pull that in a little bit, depending on how far under I put it. But
I love that you would pull it in, because I go, I'd probably just tip it on an angle so it looks like it just has a corner peeking in, and I don't have to adjust the shadows.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I don't have to adjust the shadows.
I'm the lazy.
But if you want to adjust the shadows, it's you know, it's pretty easy to do that. You're just gonna click on the shadow layer and unlink it by clicking that little link, and then you can actually move your shadows around a little bit more if you need to accommodate maybe a bigger flower or something else you put on there. And like this, I might even pull this around over here, or I might take it off altogether. That may come down. But so, haha, there you go. Libraries and how you can scrap smarter.
Probably faster too in some ways.
Yeah.
Oh, will you show how to get the transform grid on the shadowing?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Scrap smarter, not harder.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go with this one that's here. I'm just going to close this out. So just so it's clear. Okay, so say you want a bigger shadow on this side because there's more flowers over here, or maybe you got some labels, or you know, something thicker over here. So I'm going to unlink that layer, and I always link them because it's just easy not to accidentally move things around, but you can quickly unlink them. But once you've unlinked it, I usually you can click on any of these squares that you see on the bounding box, and that will pull up your warp. And this is, you know, it flips in between your free transform if I'm wanting to hover over it so it'll show up again. Yeah, of course it's not. Switch between free transform and warp modes. And that's what I click on. And once I do that, I get anchor points around on that shadow layer. And then I can just start pulling those little anchor points and say I want this one to come in a little bit more.
I mean, I don't know why you might use it on something else, Bethany, but yes, you can totally use it on anything that you can transform. Yeah. Actually, I can't think of reasons you'd use it. I've used it before, like if a photo is taken kind of at a weird angle, I've kind of used that to help unwarp it a little bit. There's better ways of doing it, but some days that's what I use because that's how I am.
Let's see.
You did not get the warping tool at the top. You have to have the transform corners. Okay, never mind. All right.
We're good. She figured it out.
She found it. She didn't select it. Yep.
Okay.
Nope. Totally get it.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of what would, like maybe this bat. Maybe you'd want to change his wings for whatever reason. I don't know. You can actually, you know, pull them out a little bit sharper.
Strings.
You need to be aware, you know, that you should be using it as a smart object, not to make too many drastic changes. But like if you needed a more angular bat as opposed to the.
And I know Puppet Warp works for strings and stuff, but I've used this for strings when I just need to move it that little bit off my journaling and stuff.
Yeah.
It works
and
great.
Puppet Warp is good. I just find this is for custom shadowing. I find that it's more than adequate.
Oh yeah, no, I just meant like for strings, if I had like Puppet Warp will really help me if I want to put it in an exact spot. If I'm just trying to move a piece off my journaling, that tool is much faster and easier.
Right. All right.
If I'm trying to completely move it, Puppet Warp works better.
Is there anything in particular you have questions about now?
Wishing PSE had the warp tool. I know.
Yeah. So like this, I have it set so that every object that's brought in turns into a smart object. So I feel comfortable, you know, going up and down, not a huge amount, but enough. And then I'll just go ahead and add my shadow, and then I right click on that FX on the layers panel and create layer, and then that's when I can start moving that shadow around. I'm going to push up a little bit, like, you know, maybe I've got a glue dot under the center holding that bow into place.
It's such like somebody who paper scrapped, because I think the same thing.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, what would this work? Okay, so you can see, let me duplicate that.
If you are at this chat for your DSD Rockstar Bingo, make sure you take, I think it's a screenshot that you need that you were here. Just, you know, putting that out there in the universe.
And I do need to stop because we have a little pricey, little Cersei. Okay, so you can see though how, you know, especially if you have a minimal page, doing a custom shadow on a bow like this could make a really big impact, even if you didn't do a lot of custom shadows. I don't custom shadow everything. So that's just another tip you can see. It just has a more, like you could touch it. You know, when you print it out, it looks like it's, you know.
Real. Layered. Dimensional.
All right, so I'm going to stop the recording and thank y'all all so much for coming.